My name is Nicole Anderson Ellis, and tonight I want to talk to you about some lessons that we can learn from frogs. I teach here at VCU. I do not teach about frogs. I teach critical thinking and critical writing, sometimes. But I got my undergraduate degree in environmental studies at UCLA. And it was sometimes challenging to study about the environment while living in Los Angeles because it's Los Angeles. And the first oceanography class, I stopped swimming in Santa Monica Bay because I knew what was in the water and it scared me. And I had an atmospheric chemistry class where we had to go on the top of the building and the professor would point at the air, like over the freeway or over the port of Los Angeles, and we had to identify the chemicals that were in the air based on the color and the opacity. And I survived largely by convincing myself that the air inside my apartment was clean and healthy, and then shortly after I graduated, I left. But one of the many lessons that I learned when I was there was an experiment that was done on frogs. It was done by a man named Frederick Goltz in 1869, and you may well have heard about this experiment. If you take a frog and you drop it into boiling water, it will hop out and save itself. But if you take the same frog and you put it in water and you slowly bring it to a boil, the frog will cook. Because the incremental exposure to danger bypasses its panic reflex and it doesn't save itself. And this is often used as a metaphor for what's happening to our environment right now, that the changes have been incremental. And think about this. If a species from another planet landed on Earth and attacked us by poisoning our drinking water and giving hundreds of millions of people cancer, and creating a response in our atmosphere where the planet was becoming less hospitable and perhaps over the long term uninhabitable, we would fight back, right? We would rally the human species across the globe, would drop everything else. Our number one priority would be stopping these things. You can imagine the movie that would be made about it, right? So take that idea and juxtapose it with reality, where all of these consequences are happening, right? These dangers are happening, but we don't respond the same way. We may intellectualize that there's a danger, but we don't drop everything and fix it, and it's because the increase has been so incremental over a number of generations that we don't quite feel it. So the writer in me is fascinated by this challenge. How do we wake up? What words might I come up with that I could inspire us to change? How do I wake us up? How do I get us to jump before we boil? And what we need is a new metaphor. And I think that I have come up with it, and I look forward to sharing it with you at a TED Talk next October.